I did my first suicide attempts. Nothing much. It was a cry for help. A few sleeping pills, non-prescription ones, and a few slashes on my wrists. I threw them up and I called ER. I spent the night there, hoping I'd be hospitalized in psychiatry. But no, I was sent back the next morning with no help. What a mistake. That year was absolute hell. I was shut up in a flat, just throwing up all I could, fattening up. Bulimia makes you fat. Hesitating of throwing myself off of the window or not. All alone, I mean just hell. No TV, no telephone, nothing. Just sitting in the room all day long. God, horrible hell. It just built up a year of agony in me, which will help explain my further suicide attempts later. The 25th of November, a Sunday, I came back to my empty flat. I knew it. It's the time. I'd take all the strong medication at home and a cord to hang myself. I had a fight with my brother, and like usual, my mom had taken his defense. I'd warned them. I'd even warned the shrink a week earlier I'd do it. I was in tears. I just couldn't take life anymore. 5 fucking years of bulimia. I'd done everything on earth to get out of it. Everything. Therapy, hospitalization, shrinks, all still there. So anyway, I took all my medication, all full boxes. 4 boxes of Effexor 50, 2 boxes of Atarax, 2 boxes of Xanax, and 1 box of Serapram. Thinking about a year ago, I'd thrown away my Athamil. I would have died, hadn't I? I also hung up the cord to hang myself when I'd be groggy enough. I put on Romeo and Juliet on TV and just relaxed. An hour later, I just collapsed on the floor. Everything seemed blurry. I tried to get up, but I couldn't, and I laughed interiorly and thought, this is the end, baby. Ha ha ha. And I dragged myself to the bathroom to look for my razor blades to cut my wrists. I couldn't find them. I was just too spaced out. So I went back to where the cord was waiting for me, and I just tried to get up to hang myself, because I really wanted to die. For me, there was no question I would survive. But I couldn't stand up, so all night I just dragged myself on the floor, semi-unconscious, waiting for my death. At one point I got really thirsty, so I tried with my mug on the floor, I'm really untidy, to drink water from the toilet, as I couldn't even get up to the sink. But even that, I didn't have the strength, so I turned on the shower and drank there. I was soaking wet. Anyway, the lady from the school the next day, worried not seeing me, so she called the lady that took care of my flat unit, that said she didn't see me get out today. So they called the firemen, and I heard them knocking in the morning, and I was like, shit. But I thought, totally knocked out, they'd leave me alone. And about half an hour later, I saw them emerge from my balcony. I had hidden the boxes of my medicine to not have the chance to get any antidote. But being so spaced out, I told them where I had hidden them. But anyway, there was no antidote. The next thing I knew, I was in ER with my crying brother over me saying, why did you do that? You're not even fat. Yes, but I'm sick. I've had a hell of a time. All I answered is, I'll do it again and again and again until I succeed. The next day I was sore all over, like bruises all over. My bladder was blocked, so I had to have a urinary thing stuck up my bladder. They said it was because of the massive dose of anxiolytics. It lasted for about 6 days. Anyway, there I stayed for a couple of weeks before I had a fight with the shrink. I tried to strangle myself with a cord. Once I've made a decision, the decision is made, and I'd made the decision to die. And I broke a mirror to mutilate myself, so I was put in an isolation room, where the bed is sealed to the floor, the toilets have no bowl, and you have to know like a maniac to call the nurses because there is no bell. Yes, prison. I stayed in there for about 5 days. After a bit more time, I was allowed out for a bit to visit my parents, so I went home. I had a prescription close to about $400 of pills, Effexor 50, massive doses, Zyprexa, Risperdal, Trilbutal, and all sorts of groggy stuff. Even though it's the most disgusting thing to swallow huge quantities of pills, I swallowed it all and I cut my legs, trying to get the femoral vein. And I spilled ether all over my pillow. Great mistake. With my pea brain, I didn't think my mom would smell the ether, and so she did, and I was rushed to ER where I had my stomach pumped. I was put back into isolation room. The shrink was cross for a good week, and for all I stayed 4 months in the psycho ward with heroin addicts, schizophrenics, then me. I'm bulimic and very, very depressed and just so damn sick of living.